Alrighty, time to record. Oh fuck, alright. We got new stuff, or not new stuff, but we got, the battle pass. I finished the battle pass. That's been done and over with. Whatever. We don't care about that. What we care about is if it will load, is the fact that I got another God Ring 10, and I gotta do a video on them, because that's just what I do. I forgot who I was playing after this. I think it was Sobek. But, we finished Cabroken. Yeah. Let's see. So, the gist of his passive, you and nearby allies take 5% reduced damage. Pretty OP, not gonna lie. Ult, place some walls to zone your opponents, and then, you know, it does damage, that's pretty much it. It takes 3 hits to destroy a wall. Tremors. Hang on. Oh, fuck, alright. Yeah, no, Tremors. You click a button, anything around you. You can't move, anything around you is taking tick AoE damage. Pretty solid. It's your follow-up usually. Refraction. It's your stun after you take a certain number of hits. And you gain protections as well. Or, yeah. You gain protections as well. And it's just decent damage. It's usually your follow-up to the Seismic Crush, which is increased movement speed, and then you also stun your opponent. But you also gain immunity to slows and roots while it's active. Alrighty. So this is Cabroken. We already know. If you play Smite, you know this god. It's whatever. Let's just see. So this is like the support build I have for the most part, but this is not exactly what I run. Because my support build's based off of cooldown on here, but that's not what I usually run. I usually just go Tainted, but with the addition, because I haven't played them since they updated the Sentinels and stuff, and they brought it back to being OP. But so basically, you just do Sentinels and Brace because it's OP. That'd be your starter, of course. Hang on, let me just go right ahead and buy these relics so it leaves me alone. You usually want to buy the anti-heal onk too. The cursed onk every time. So you're building support, you always go Gauntlet, because Gauntlet's broken. Then you're Cabroken, so like what are you gonna do? You think I need anti-heal, so you just build Pestilence. And then you're like, well now I have no physical defense, and you don't know if anybody's building crit yet. And if they're building crit, you're gonna want to build... Actually, here's the other thing. You don't need Pestilence all the time. You only need it if they're building Lifesteal. But if you don't, you always go Onis because of 20% crowd control reduction, and you take you have free damage mitigation depending on how many enemy gods are nearby, and it's 3% per, and it goes to 9% with your 5% reduced damage. So that's 14% reduced damage. But usually you're gonna go Pestilence because you need the anti-heal.
More armor.
Then you're just thinking to yourself, what do I need? What's really needed here? You really go Spectral if they have crit, or any god that may build crit. And if they don't, you kind of just look for big protection numbers. Like, Emperor's is okay. Spectral's valid regardless of if they're building crit or not, but if they're not, you just want to go Breastplate, because Breastplate is a glyph, and the glyph gives you more protections. So let's say they're not building crit, you do that, but if they are, you build Spectral. It's whatever. You don't need cooldown on Cabroken, that's the cool thing about Cabroken. But you also go Gem of ISO. You could build this earlier, honestly. You could build this like your third item, and then just start building protections. You really don't have, it really doesn't matter on him. Because you want to go Gem, a little bit of power, crowd control reduction, and gives you the ability to fucking slow people in your Tremor, which is really OP. You could go Mail of Renewal, because Mail of Renewal is like meta right now. It's really strong, really good, but I prefer going with, because usually I run the anti-heal starter on him, because he does like direct damage. Since I'm not running that, and I just have Cursed Onk and Pestilence, it's kind of like whatever. You kind of want to just look for a utility. A dual type utility is pretty good. I like to go Magi's, because like usually I'm not building Breastplate of whatever half the time. So I would go like, here's how I do it. Hang on. So if I'm building a physical protection item, it's because I have physical problems like crit, so you build anti-crit. There's usually going to be crit nowadays anyways, but then I'd do like Magi's. And I do the Magi's Revenge, so they take more damage. Now if I get stun locked, I have a way out, I have free damage, I have hella defense, because I'm also running Gauntlet. Like, the numbers aren't bad. I have 4k health, that's pretty good too. Like, your numbers are kind of average, because now you can actually get your supports to have like max fucking defense and stuff. See, that would have stunned me, but I had the Magi's. Now they take like more damage and stuff too. And then this can stun, and then you can just CC them again. You know, but that's why you run Magi's Revenge for that, and then you can run. If you're not running Magi's Revenge and you're running Breastplate of Motivation, then I know it's called Determination, I call it Motivation. And if they are building, what's the idea here? So like if you build this and you need anti-crit, you just build anti-crit. But if they don't have any anti-crit and you built Breastplate Determination for the protections, like if you look at my stat line right now, it's like 295, 272, right? So I need like, what, 60 protections almost? You can just go into this, you can max out the protections. And I'm pretty sure actually, what I like to do more so than not, is if they have enough, because like getting CC'd out of your mind is annoying for anybody, but especially the tank who's meant to do CC back. You just want to run like damage minute. You want to run this cloak as well for the crowd control reduction. Like, of course your damage ain't that high because you are in fact a support. Now I could tremor here, which would be kind of smart. Just hit him with the tremors. I think she only does it when she's like below half. Yeah. So then you can just wall off, you can zone, and you can do all that. It's pretty nice. Your protections are maxed because of determination and all that. You have the max. You almost have like max crowd control reduction as well. So like if I didn't need anti-heal and I built Oni's Hunter Garb, I would have maxed out crowd control reduction, which is pretty solid. But now it's time for the offense build. I like to run Bumba Spear because it's cooldown, it's damage, everything you really need, honestly, especially early game as well. I'm gonna be real here though, jungler's not fun anymore. It's very boring because it's a lot of farming. That's all it is now. Now you think with jungler you need like hella cooldown? No. In fact, you build no cooldown once again. What's the point in having cooldown when I can build items like this fucking glyph here that gives me Bancroft's Claw, or I can build Typhons on top of that, and then I can build Polynomicon on top of that, and I can build Spear of the Magus. Or if I really need anti-heal or some shit, I could get rid of fucking Spear. Spear's too nutty not to run though. But like, if you need anti-heal, just have the Ankh, of course. Now you do need the Book of Thoth because you are a Guardian. Guardians need that extra bonus 120 power you get, or 100 power you get, whatever the scaling is on it. Now you think it wouldn't make that big of a deal, but like when you can do shit like that, it's a huge deal. Because like, oh yeah, and Polly got a buff, so like you can just click buttons and do damage. It's amazing. So like it's already back on cooldown. I can sit here with their ass and then just hit them with this and just see how much the trembles can do to them. Yeah, that's the thing. That's 280 something a tick, and I can even combo into like Polly and stuff. So that's why this is like really nuts. But you know, this is like my offensive build. Of course, you don't need Poly, but it's really nuts right now. And Magi's is not really needed on him. It just helps do bonus damage to tanks and gives you a little bit of pen. You could just build Divine if you need the anti-heal, of course. Pythagoreans is more of a solo laner / support item, depending on what you want to use them for. So like, if I give you like a rundown of like what my solo laner would be, I need anti-heal early game because anti-heal's anti-heal. You're gonna need it. I usually base which one I buy off of based off what I have. Let's say I'm versing a physical early on. I could build cooldown, but it depends on the physical that I'm versing and stuff too still. So like, oh, if I need more anti-heal because they're running hella lifesteal off the rip physical dealer, I can run Contagion. Contagion's really good regardless. It does stack with Tainted, and it does stack with Ankh. So you do that, but Ankh wouldn't be my relic. It'd be Tower Teleport, and then I'd probably build Ankh later, or something more utility-based. And then at this point in the game, it's like, okay, what should I build for, like, power and stuff? Like, if like, Tainted doesn't... I don't think it stacks. I think it does stack with Divine, but could be wrong. But no, so, like, you're playing solo lane. So you're going very box heavy. At this stage, I'm gonna be real here, though. You don't even need this item first. But, let's say I build Warlocks, because Warlocks is pen. Now, you might think I'm crazy, but you're solo lane. Like, you need the pen. The pen's really needed here. And then let's say you need the anti-heal or whatever. And then it's like, okay, oh shit, what do I do now? Because you already got that early game anti-heal, and then you ran in more anti-heal because you're like, you're versing a physical. Then you're too busy trying to figure out what to build for your other items because you're like, oh shit, I need fucking, what is it? I need magical defense. Or I need, like, a way to deal more damage or something. Nice. Oh, it's done. It's so broken. It's a little bit of power, a little bit of health, a little bit of protection, and reduces their protections. Solid. Now it's down to just, like, what the fuck should I build? I'm solo laner, I need to help the team. Don't really need cooldown because I'm Cabroken. You don't really do that. You could build Bulwark for anti-crowd control. That's always needed. You could build literally like any item in the game. It doesn't really matter. Onis, I will say this. Oni Hunter Garb, fucking insane. I would build this like 9 times out of 10 for like even support. Because like I wouldn't need fucking anti-heal. And if I did, I'd build it later. Like it wouldn't matter. But, you know, so that would be like more, you know, whatever defense. You could do this. Have their physical power reduce. That's pretty nuts. Or you could run Gem of ISO to slow them down, but that's more of a support's job. Your job is solo lane, so like you want to go utility. And then it's at this point in the game, it's like, okay, what do I have? Warlocks, Contagion, so I have, 50-50 split almost. So like I have, like you can check your stats by clicking options here. I have 225 physical, 187 magical. Alright, we'll lean towards magical protection. Because this says you are healed for 100% of the healing reduced, and it's only reduced by 30. This reduces it by 50, but gives you more physical protection. The magical power is more on here, but you don't need the power. What you need is the defense here. Because now my numbers, if you look, it's 240, 262. Now I have more magical protection, and that seems very weird when you're on solo lane. But like, if you need more physical, you build more physical. It's just, it's like that with every like fucking class that plays like this. It's just like you build what you need. Now, as you can see, my damage is like basically half of what it is. Oh, another really good utility with the ult is to actually block them off as they're coming at you and trying to kill your team. You can block them off from the fight for a little bit, which is always really nice. But yeah, no, like this would probably be like somewhat my solo laner build would look like. Maybe I get rid of Warlocks. Maybe I build something else. I don't know. I just like Warlocks. That's 155 power. It's like the highest power item in the game. Actually, I think it's only second to Doomor, maybe. No, it's not. Okay, it's actually tops Doomor. Wait, doesn't Doomor give you passive? 4 magical power per stack, 5 stacks, 20 power. Yeah, no. So Doomor's a little bit more. But it doesn't really matter. You always go Warlocks here. It's health, mana, it's magical pen, and it's power. So basically that's how you play Cabroken. It's just the same combo. It's always square to the stun. You take a couple hits, you only sit there and beat their face in. So like, let's say this ability is no longer active because you stun them, so you just be basically hitting them until that orb on the bottom left is full charge, which is like your passive for your X, which allows you to stun. And then you beat them again. Let's say your ult is up. You click the ult button, you hold them there, and then you tremble. So like it would look something along the lines of, oh, I stunned him, or like I'm trying to reach him, and then I stunned him, and then I got a couple hits in, like 1, 2, and then I can stun again, and then 1, 2, ult because they're trying to run away, and just sit there and tremble, keep them in it, body block. It's pretty solid.